agree.
Here's the
Bryce,
thing,
what
though,
we call
man.
that? Blue wall. That's what we call that.
Come on. What does that have to do with Michigan?
Bryce. I
No,
could.
I don't want to get into this. I don't want to get into it.
Okay, well, yeah, we won't.
We don't
We
have
have a
time
show.
for
We
this.
have a show to do. We have a show to do.
We have a show to do. Get on track.
The sideline, forget about it. This baby's over. Oh, my goodness. One man. Goodbye. Hello, Heisman.
And most especially in 310 days in Ann Arbor, Michigan, on the football field.
Another block. One more, and he's got it. Touchdown. No flag.
Samuel cuts it back. Ohio State wins.
Here's the run again. Donovan Edwards. Whoa! Can they catch him? No! Donovan Edwards again. The down.
Alrighty, welcome back to another episode. I'm losing track of what episode this is, but another episode of the Scarlet
16,
and
man.
Blue Show.
16.
This is 16.
Yeah.
We're 16 episodes in, and I guess I'll take this moment. Garrison and I were chatting about it. Well, I've chatted about it a lot lately, but in engagement, views, everything has skyrocketed. And so we just want to take a moment to appreciate or to thank you and tell everyone how much we appreciate your investment and the time you're willing to spend with us.
Yeah, man. I mean, it just looking at it, man. Honestly, you can put it up, dude. Because like I said, I'm not ashamed of the numbers we've gotten because like we've always said, we don't know what will come of this. But I mean, just seeing the numbers from our first episode. Our first episode before these last two was the highest, but that's accumulated, over the time of 2 or so months. And just seeing that number go, it goes like 50, 14, 60, then boom, out of nowhere, it just spikes. And I mean, even our last episode from this week, man, it stayed the same. And I'm really appreciative, and I know Bryce is too. So thank you guys.
Absolutely. The comments on the YouTube pages are fun. And then, yeah, you guys can dictate where this goes and what you want to see more of and what you want to see less of. I'm sure you want less of Garrison's takes, more of mine, and we can give that to you. So it works out super well.
Okay.
Boom, boom. All right, brother, we've got a lot to talk about still. Week 3 is coming up here.
Yeah.
But at the end of the last episode, we briefly touched on the Mel Tucker situation. Again, we like to focus conversation around our teams, but given that one of these is a big rival and the other is an interdivisional opponent, we should talk about it. And then not to mention, it's huge news. So when it came out and we recorded the show, there was still a lot of news still to be uncovered and still to be released. And since then, a lot has happened. Garrison, I know you've got some thoughts on it you wanted to share with. I'm excited to hear.
So listen, man. I'm gonna come from two different angles, from the actual situation, and then I have something I think you're probably gonna hate. Okay. For guys like me, it's really hard to hear stuff like this. Hey, let's get this out the way. Like I said before, Mel Tucker's an idiot for what he did, for the situation. What I do want to be put out there though is that, I mean, I've read even comments from women, okay? And I think there has to be culpability and there has to be honesty driven into this conversation. And I'm trying to walk a fine line here. I'm trying to walk a fine line.
Make me nervous, but I'm here for you. You know I support you.
Listen, I'm gonna make it very simple. Do not rush to judgment or conclusion without any proof, context of situations that you know nothing about, and all you're doing is reading about it. And if you're going to read about it, make sure you read everything in full. I took the time to do that. A lot of the things I believe about it, I don't want to say because it's my thoughts, and I don't think it's important for me to say so. Am I confused on why Mel Tucker decided to start a relationship with someone? And like I had a conversation with someone. I said, just because that person has that as their, like, that's what they talk about, that's their job, Mel Tucker can't talk to them. That's not a reason. It's just the fact that I guess she was attached. Brendan Tracy was attached to the school to an extent. That's where Mel has have ownership. And I've said this about when it comes to anyone in any situation. You have to have, there's also responsibility on the other side. You're telling. I'm gonna say it, then get off of it. You're telling me you can't hang up the phone?
36 minutes is a long time.
It's a very long time. Now let's get to the football side of this. Because I don't know if I asked you about this. I think I brought this to some Michigan fan, but I don't think it was you. In East Lansing, there's a man who came home. He's home. You might know him by the famous words, "It'll never be over." I call him the Wolverine Killer. He sent your program along with Ohio State. Along with Ohio State, he sent your program into the dumps. Now he's not the head coach, but he's advising. I have a question for you, Bryce. Because I'm not gonna go on a ledge and say they're gonna beat you guys this year yet. Okay, I'm not gonna go on that ledge. If they beat Washington, are you now on alert?
They're not going to beat Washington.
And that's not what I asked you. If they beat Washington, are you on alert?
I'm smashing Washington -16, smashing it with everything.
I'm at. See, you're not answering my question. You're walking away from me because you're scared of Mark D'Antoni.
Wow. I can't even imagine that happening.
Lloyd Carr's afraid of him. Lloyd Carr's afraid of him. Rich Rod's afraid of him. Brady Joke is afraid of him. And what's his name? Oh, Jim Harbaugh's afraid of him.
Why? You're doing it again, Garrison. You're doing it again. We can talk about that. A crazy comment.
Can you answer my question?
No, I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about them at all.
Even if they beat Washington in Washington.
It's not in Washington though.
It's not. It's at Bryce. Bryce Sack.
Well, let's go back to Sparty because the Antonio thing, and him being there is interesting.
Yes,
we can talk about that later because he's not going to go anywhere. I actually do like the assistant coach who's stepping in the interim. It's Hey,
what did the Freep say? Is they're going to ruin a chance for another black coach?
Oh, that was dumb. Here's
the thing, though, we call that blue wall. That's what we call that.
Come on. What does that have to do with Michigan?
Bryce.
I don't want to get into this. I don't want to get into
it. We won't. We have a show to do. We have a show to do.
Get on track. I will say it is interesting though how quickly, and Garrison and I, telling the fans here, Garrison and I really do enjoy following politics, and we obviously don't talk about it much on the show, but we enjoy following politics. And what you see with a story like this, and I'm not saying this is a political story, but it is more it's a story that hits the political side of some spectrums. Of the spectrum.
Bryce, I'll be honest with you. You know I'm not the most racy person. It hits a racial aspect of it too. It has a racial aspect of it too.
Sure. And I will not disagree, argue, or combat like that. Yes. Mm-hmm. I do think it's interesting though how the pendulum has swung in terms of response. That story came out Saturday night, late Saturday night. I remember I was just about to go to bed, and then I saw a tweet about that. And all of Sunday and much of Monday, really up until we started recording on Monday night, it was all Mel Tucker's a scumbag, dirtbag, idiot. And as the days have gone on, now we're at Wednesday night recording this. This will be released on Thursday. I feel like a lot of people have kind of swung back around to taking his side and saying, not even
Josh Pate did. Josh Pate did. I don't know if you saw that, but
I did. Josh Pate did. Other people doing that. So I think it's just interesting that it's going with the greater theme and trend that a lot of political conversations, political topics seem to follow. So we'll watch that closely, man. I think Michigan State, the program, is in a horrible spot right now, and I think they've got a lot of work to do to get out of it. Can you win a football game here and there? Sure. But I think there's a lot that they have to work through. Garrison,
it's a lot for it's a top 20 institution in the nation. It's a lot for them to be going through to be that.
I don't know. Are you worried about Brian Hartline going up to East Lansing? Okay. Saw that out there too. Something to think about, Garrison.
But I wouldn't blame him. I mean, and Jeremiah Smith said just recently, he said if at any point Brian Hartline left, he would leave too. I'm completely fine with that. I understand that. If any Ohio State fan thinks that Jeremiah Smith is leaving South Florida for Ohio State, you're crazy. He left South Florida for Brian Hartline. I wouldn't be surprised if Hartline took that job. Do I think
Wow.
it'd be?
Okay.
Do I think he'd be good at it? I'm not sure yet. And I would pray and hope that he would. He was.
Yeah.
Because I think the Big Ten's better with Michigan State's also good.
That I will agree with. I will agree with. It helps.
Mhm.
It helps. You look at the Big Ten right now, ranking compared to other conferences, and it feels like it's definitely down. I mean, look at the top 25 ratings or rankings. Well, we have 4, I think. 3, 4,
Four.
4. Yeah.
Ohio State, Michigan,
Penn State, Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah. All right. Well, we spent far too much time talking about the little brothers of the poor over there. So let's get back on track. Week 3, going into it. We always start with Ohio State. So we're going to start with Michigan here.
Let's go. Yeah.
We'll go kick it off here. So we've got the Bowling Green. Garrison, what's Bowling Green's nickname? Can you know? Do you know?
Isn't it like it's a bird?
It's a bird of prey. It's a falcon.
It's a falcon. Bryce, I haven't thought about bowling.
All right, so we got Bowling Green, the Falcons coming to town here. I watched the game last week against Eastern Illinois, the Panthers. They won 38-15, so 1-1, lost to Liberty week 1, 34-24 on the road. So the head coach for Bowling Green, head coach of the Falcons, if you're an old school Michigan fan, if you've been around the block for a while, you'll recognize the name. Scott Loeffler. He was the quarterback at Michigan from 1993 to 96, and then was on staff for the next 3 years. So the guy is very familiar with the program. Yep. So that would have been a decade probably or so after Harbaugh. And so kind of fun to have a coach like that come back. I believe he's 14-30 at Bowling Green. They had a bowl win last year. So it feels like the program's kind of on the up and up. Garrison, the spread's 40 points. Michigan won the first game. They scored 30 points. The second game's 35 points.
I got 40.5.
Okay, thank you. 40 points. 40 and a half
points. That means a lot, actually.
It does, but it does and it doesn't from the sense of this. Yeah. Vegas watches these two teams line up, and they think it's going to be a blowout. So hard to not really kind of get too worried about anything here. Jim Harbaugh was on with Brad Golly, the legend out of Detroit sports media gang. He's talking with him this week. They do a very comfortable, casual interview every week. And Harbaugh had just a few interesting comments. Just said, hey, the offense is very similar to ours, which I think is pretty interesting. He's like, lots of similar concepts, lots of similar gap schemes too. He even mentioned too, he's like, I think we might snag a few things from their offense. So I saw that interview and then I watched the tape and yeah, there are definitely a lot of similarities. I didn't see the I formation. I didn't see much under center, but what I did see was a lot of the quarterback spreading it out with the running back to his right or left. And really getting creative and seeing them really looking to sling it and then looking to move quick, knowing that Michigan has the advantage and the size and really the talent. Nice. So 2 things to watch out for. They've gone really with 2 quarterbacks the first 2 games, but I think the starter and the guy who gets the majority of reps is Connor Basilak. And you might recognize that name.
I know that name.
Yep. He played for the Hoosiers last year.
Yeah.
Yep. And then prior to that, played at Missouri. So he's got experience in 2 big conferences. Last year, he threw for 2,300 yards, 13 TDs, 10 picks. And then that brought him to Bowling Green, where he watched him last week, definitely took the majority of the meaningful snaps. Slung it out well. They've got some decent weapons on the outside. Odu Hilaire, I believe is how you say his name, is a top returning receiver. 32 touchdowns this year, which I don't know if you know this, but that's the same amount of touchdowns as Marvin Harrison Jr. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I think aside from that, just loving the offensive side, they got a big old tight end, big old hog molly, 6'4", 230, who's pretty mobile, and
that's big.
It's thick. He looks thick. Watch him on tape. He's a thick cat. But he's already has 9 catches, 138 yards, and a touchdown. So he's the leading receiver. And then they got a tandem of backs that really split the majority of reps. Terrion Stewart, he's another thicker than a Snicker type runner. And then Jason.
Sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
Thicker than a Snicker.
Pause, Bryce.
Pause.
Yeah, pause.
I'm sorry, am I interrupting something?
It's such a cornball.
So it should be creative. But Garrison, again, the spread's 40 points. I think Michigan's going to cover that. I do.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
I do. In my pick'em pool, I've got with some friends from Chicago. I'm going to take Bowling Green because that's kind of my principle and rule. So they're going to call me out on this. But right now, give me the Wolverines minus the points.
But also about last night, I was in one of Zay's spaces on Twitter. Guys, follow him on Twitter. He's an awesome follow for Michigan content.
The king of Michigan Twitter spaces.
He is the king of Michigan Twitter spaces. I think Michigan's going to cover. A lot of Michigan fans don't think so. I don't think that team is scoring on them. I got JJ. I wrote this down. I have JJ getting 4 touchdowns. Yeah, I think you guys are gonna blow their doors off. They're a bottom MAC school. I think you guys are gonna take care of business. I do.
Okay. I like that. I like to hear that. Also, don't like to hear that because that feels like bad juju for us. But we'll trust you. Take your word for it. So the other thing I'll add too is got to see the run game going. So people like you will stop trying to stir up something that's not even there. Let's run for 300. Give Blake 2. Give Donovan 1 or 2. Spread it around in the air a little bit here and there, and let's get out of there. And then you can shut your mouth. Fair?
Maybe.
Garrison, you got the Hilltoppers coming into town. You need a good week of football before the monstrous game in week 4 that we're all going to be talking about. I don't want to talk about it now.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get
there. But what are we looking at here? McCord's named the starter. Go ahead.
I'm just going to jump into it, man. Western Kentucky, they're averaging 327 yards passing per game. I watched their game earlier today against Houston Christian, a nobody school. But
what was that? What network was that on? Is that just some dude on his iPhone just watching the game?
Yeah, Bryce, I don't know.
Okay.
I watched the game against USF. I mean, listen, man, they can move the ball. And every Ohio State fan knew this. It sounds crazy saying this, but in all reality, every Ohio State fan knew coming into the season, this was the first game our defense was going to get tested. Specifically our secondary. Listen, man, they have athletes. I think both of their running backs are pretty dynamic. They get rid of the ball. The spread right now is 28 points. I don't think we're going to cover that, but there's a reason for it.
Ooh, okay. I'm excited to hear.
They were in a 3-3-5. I know a bunch of Ohio State fans, aka Devin Brown stands, want to see Kyle McCord go out there and light it up. This is not the game you light it up. This is the game where you run down their throats and you show your manhood. This is when you drop your cojones. You go out like that offensive line needs to go out there and dominate. I trust Kyle McCord. I trust our receivers. I trust our running backs. I trust our defense. I trust our coaches. I don't trust you guys. Especially if I'm being completely honest, I don't trust you. I don't trust Jonathan Jackson. Even more so, I don't trust you right now, Josh Simmons. Oof. And if I'm being completely honest, Josh Simmons, you might be making Donovan Jackson look bad.
Ooh, that's a good take. Yeah.
Because
he had a tough game last week.
You are affecting how he is playing also because you're getting blown up at the line. You're big for nothing. That's what I call that. Big for nothing.
Does he have any grace, Simmons? Does he have any, hey, I'm new to the playbook? And
you get a quarter out of me.
Okay. All right.
You get a quarter out of me. It's game. Bryce, we're about to be a quarter. We're about to be a quarter way through the season. Yeah.
12 games, 3. Yeah. Quarter.
Yeah. I'm good at
not math guys, but sounds right.
I kind of am. Yeah. I mean, listen, man, but like they give up 264 rushing yards a game. Now, listen, man, if you're sitting here telling me that we better get to 200, that's what I do know, Bryce. Like, yeah, man, they give up 454 yards total yards. Um, this should be a beatdown, and when I say a beatdown, I mean we should be destroying them with our running game. Uh, Out of my defense, I need 2 sacks. I need 2 sacks. They get rid of the ball really fast, but I need to see 2 sacks. I mean, we can. I'll say it to you, Bryce. We can put the tweet up. But my man Luther from Best Damn Media, he had this tweet, man. That was very insightful. It was very insightful and very smart. It was a great take, and he talked about switching. I don't want to butcher his tweet, but he talked about putting Jack Sawyer on the side of JT's at and put him JTT on the other side. I think that might be the way to go. I think you might benefit more from putting just from my line of sight on his tweet. You might benefit more from putting JTT over the right tackle instead of over the left tackle instead of putting him over the right tackle. Listen, man. I mean, look, it's Western Kentucky, Bryce, the Hilltoppers. Grind them down. Listen, if we came out there and ran your guys' game plan, I wouldn't care. Passing is gonna happen. They give up 264.5 rush yards a game.
That's a good point, and that's why people go to you for Ohio State content, Garrison. Is this, if you're looking for the game for Kyle McCord to light it up and to make it clear that he should be the outright starter, the expectation for Buckeye fans is that this is not the one. That's why it's for the best of
a
business,
Buckeye fan with a brain, yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of those either. So I understand the difficulty of finding them.
I could say something really mean about you Michigan boys, but I'm not going to. No.
All right. So I'm taking the Buckeyes.
You take the 28?
I am. They're not going to score 2 touchdowns. You'll get to 35. Probably field goal to 38.
I'll give you. I'll give you 40-17.
Okay. All right. So just shy. What's that? 23? Yeah. Okay.
I'll show that. I'll show the Hilltoppers offense some respect. I think they can move the ball.
Okay. All right. Well, so that'll be a good test for the defense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, good stuff. I'm excited for it. Dude, I was looking at the slate this weekend and heard a lot of people saying that it's not a great slate. And you're right. There's not a ton of ranked matchups. When game day is going to go out to see Colorado State. Yes, I understand Dion is there. It's Colorado State. I mean, come on. You're going to play USC I think next week, and then play Oregon the week after that. Like, you'll get your time with Colorado State.
Yeah, they have a tough schedule.
They do. But that just shows me there's not a lot of great games. I thought Penn State, Illinois should have been a potential marquee game, but then Illinois blows it to Kansas.
I don't think this is a bad week.
No, so point being, sorry, it took me a while to get to the point, but I agree with you. I think there's some really intriguing games from a gambling perspective and then just a TV viewership perspective. Also, how is Alabama going to go to USF? Did you see that? They're at USF. How did that even happen? I don't know.
Bryce, I don't know.
Yeah, games like that.
I saw that this morning. I just kind of I looked at it and went back to work.
Yeah, smart.
I did.
And then Minnesota is going to go to North Carolina.
That's all my 5 games, Bryce. That's
all right. Games. Well, let's go. What are our picks?
All right, I'll shoot first. So starting 8-2, I ran this.
Garrison, who's this? Huh? You should tell everyone about our new friends.
Oh, you know what, Bryce? You are very right. So, it's taken some time here, but very gladly we are now partnering with Power Picks AI. We're very excited for this. They're a service that helps make betting more enjoyable by giving you lines generated by using years of stats and data to help you make the right bets. They also have a community where you can speak with others on the latest trends in sports betting and gain insight. So join us. There's a link below here. We'll put it in the description. You can also use the 7-day free trial. And when you see how much money you make from it, when you see how much guala how much Skrilla that you make from cheese, cheddar, mozzarella.
All right.
Go ahead and get that full subscription and make money with Power Picks AI and the SBS Wiseguys. So, I started, we were both starting 8-2, correct? We're both 8-2 right now?
I'm 7-3. Let's go. Read the picks.
I took some risks this week, Bryce.
All right. Let's go.
I took some risk.
You got the money to play
number one,
with
Bryce. I took Indiana plus 10 against Louisville. I don't think just because Indiana played bad offensively against us, I don't think they're that bad. And Louisville ain't Ohio State. I think they cover that, Bryce. My second one, Minnesota plus 7.5 against UNC. I like it. Drake May is that guy. I think Drake May is the second best quarterback in the nation. Minnesota can play tough. They can play tough. Row the boat. Number 3, South Carolina plus 27.5 against Georgia. South Carolina can't run the ball. Okay, they cannot run the ball. Georgia ain't beating them by 4 scores. I refuse to believe that they're going to do that against that quarterback. I just don't see it. And UGA is good for one weird game. They're good for at least 1 or 2. Number 4, give me Florida and Tennessee under 59. Bryce,
I almost took that one too.
This is the real battle. This is the real battle of the mid. If you're talking about 2 trash ex-Big Ten quarterbacks, this is the one. This is the one, baby. Now, it's a great rivalry, a rivalry with a lot of history.
That one opened at 62 and dropped 4 points.
Because they suck. That's why.
I like that pick. I almost had that one.
And then last one, baby. Michigan State's covering that 16 against Washington.
Ooh, okay.
After that second half, Noah Kim has been playing really good football. I think no. Right now, he's playing like that. Right now, till today, and it's like we've had this argument. It's only 2 games in. He's playing like the 3rd best quarterback in the Big Ten right now. Now, Kyle McCord has the 2nd best QBR in the Big Ten, but that's not the only thing that matters. Yeah. Noah Kim looks like he can play football. As of today, Michigan State looks like they have a top. Their running backs look good right now. And Washington cannot stop the run. They cannot stop the run. Give me Michigan State plus 16, and those are my 5.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, a few of those I thought about as well. I almost said Indiana too, but I'm going a little bit different route. So I'm going to go Kansas State minus 4.5 over Mizzou. I think that game's at Mizzou. Is that game at Mizzou? Wait. That game is. Yeah, it's at Mizzou, but I love Kansas State. I think
yep.
Better coach team. So give me 4.5, 4 in the hook, as they say. Colorado. I'm not trying to jump on the Deion train, but give me Colorado minus 23.
Bryce, I think you're crazy.
I love it.
I almost took Colorado State in that.
Yep. I don't. It'd be interesting to see if Deion has a letdown week, but I don't know if he will. I think he's like the Michael Jordan where he's going to come up with some story that.
Could you imagine playing he could get me up for any game? I feel like.
I know. That's what I think. This next pick is my absolute lock. Syracuse minus 2.5 over Purdue. I think Purdue is bad. It's a bad football team. New coach. I think Syracuse can put up points. It was a pick on. This game opened as a pick. And they've got their...
It did?
It did. They got the quarterback back. He's been around forever. He's at Mississippi State. I think Garrett Schrader. He's back. Senior... probably a senior, but veteran quarterback. Give me the orange minus 2.5. We'll go quickly here. Wyoming plus 29.
Bryce, Texas, I do want to point this out. I'm sorry, say that last one. I apologize.
Yeah, that's all right. Point out what?
and this is me speaking from as a Buckeye fan. Bryce, that game is in at Purdue at 6:30 at night. Now I don't know if you know what happens at.
You have to be a top 5 program for that to matter.
I don't know if you know about Purdue at night. It ain't the place to be.
All right. We'll see.
But Syracuse is a better football team. They are.
Yeah, I just don't buy in Purdue. That's not the team we saw last year. Wyoming plus points. Texas came off the biggest win in their history, most recent history probably. Wyoming beat Tech at home week 1. I think they got the goods to make it happen. I'm not saying they're going to win, but 29 points is a lot of points.
Drop them then. Good grief.
You what?
Go ahead and drop your cojones, buddy. Good grief. You're taking that?
That's what we do here. Oh, yeah. That line moved up, too. I think it was 27 or something, and it moved up. So Vegas knows something, man. It's week 3, really week 4, if you can include week 0. Mm-hmm. Vegas has the formula figured out right now.
Yeah.
And then last pick, and I battled between these two, so I'll give my main pick at 5, but then I'll tell you the other pick.
Okay.
Gave me Pitt, West Virginia, over 49. I don't know why. I looked at that game. I saw the points that those teams are putting up.
Hey, Bryce, can you do this real quick? No, that's not happening.
It's on the board, brother. It's on the board.
That's not happening, bro. I'm sorry.
Give it to me. See, 49. That's nothing. That's 28-24. Boom, we're there. And then I was
if
that pick doesn't hit, then I'm going to switch it out. But I didn't want to take it because it's Michigan State. Washington minus 16.
Wait. So you have 6?
No, the last pick doesn't count. I'm just telling you I thought about it. It won't be my official pick.
Okay. Do you think Washington's going to beat them by 16 points?
I think they're going to blow the brakes off of them. We'll see.
Do you want a friendly wager this game since we both have it?
Oh, I don't have it. It's a gambler's penance. I don't want to.
Okay, gambler's penance. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. You have good picks. I like them.
It should be fun. So I'm 7-3. You're 8-2.
And why, Bryce? Because I know all.
No, you don't. You had a horrible Wisconsin pick last week. I was 2 points off from covering UCF.
Listen, Matt. Listen.
I love when you start with
size 2020, Bryce, but that looked like a shoe-in.
They were down by like 2 touchdowns.
It was bad. It was bad.
Wisconsin, it's gonna be interesting to see. All right.
By the way, I want to bring something up to you briefly while we have a little bit left.
I got like 30 seconds, but go for it.
I'm about to push the Kyle McCord Heisman agenda.
Oh my gosh! All right,